I can be functioning from different octaves, and I'll see differently. My perception is different, so I'll see differently depending on which octave is for me to reside in at that moment of the session. And there are multiple beings that are all in service, co-creating and holding the space, supporting the transformation. So it's not just me. My transmissions, when I amplify that truth in myself, I am amplifying that aspect of consciousness with the self-realization together. And so then what gets amplified in the field are those realms of being, whether it's the atoms or your core flow or your mind or your conditioning, your emotions, that I'm amplifying that same thing in myself is being amplified with the frequency of self-realization. So then what happens in the soul classroom is that those parts of yourself, all the layers of your being that I have realized through myself, those parts in yourself get to have the light increased, the illumination increased with the added frequency of self-realization. So then those frequencies in yourself, like the tuning fork, the C note tuning fork, C note here, then in the room with the other C note tuning fork, that makes that one start to vibrate because it's the same. So our bodies are both one and different. Right? So we have a blueprint of a human body. It's one blueprint, but different bodies. And it's one self-realization of individual beings getting to have their own journey through self-realization. And so by me resting in my uniqueness, simultaneously in the oneness of the parts that are the same, that are one, with the self-realization, that's then my Beethoven song resounding through the soul classroom. And because of the level of detail of understanding of the engineering of humanity, the architecture of consciousness, the architecture of humanness and souls and light bodies and universes, and along with all the help in the classroom, we're all coming together with great resources of personal individuated wisdom that has been polished, refined through experience, that all of us are coming together, bringing this to create a powerful container. So the wisdom from all of us then resonating in through the soul classroom, for each of you to then be in a highly amplified healing transformational field, for all the layers of your being to begin to resonate through a myriad of what word to use, of frequencies of healing and transformation through all the beings that come together. So we're all then amplifying many avenues of self-realization in through the field. And so each of your cells, particles, aspects of your consciousness, both in the contained sense of identity and in through the smaller particles that come together to make that identity, like just for body, your cells, your atoms. This is true on multiple layers of consciousness, of embodiment, that emotional body has particles, your mental body has particles, right? The containment of you and the individual particles of each of those aspects of you comes into this resonance of being, of massive proportion of transformation, enlightenment, healing, and evolution, all in through the field at once. So that some of you are responding to some parts, some of you are responding to other parts, depending on what is most accessible to you, what can, and it's not just what's most accessible, it's both, yes, accessible both in what feels more palatable to you to receive, but also in your geometries, in your configuration, in your experience, in your history, that there are going to be certain resonances that are just going to be more naturally the key to flipping things open for your healing and for your transformation and for your awakening.